Hey, what's going on, guys? How's it back again with another video, and today I've got something a little bit different for you guys. I've got some gameplay that I recorded earlier on my iPad going, but today we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the balance changes that were released earlier this morning. Well, they come out next Tuesday, but they were at least announced today. So we've got a lot of cards to discuss, as you guys can see on the screen right now. We're going to talk about first my opinion of just the balance change themselves, and then later on in the video I'm going to talk about what I think the meta will look like coming in the month of May, what decks I think will be strong, what decks I think will be significantly worse. So yeah, let's just jump into it with, I think, the nerf that people are most excited for, which is, of course, the Tornado. It's a bit of a rework, which they're calling it, but it is definitely a nerf. I saw some clips on Twitter of like Clash with Shane and some other YouTubers as well trying it out. It doesn't even pull a balloon to King Tower. If you play a balloon lumberjack at the bridge and your opponent has NATO, they might think, oh, well, you know what, I'll take a balloon hit, I'll take a little bit of damage, but that's okay, I'll have King Tower activated for the rest of the game, and I'll be okay. But it doesn't even pull that. It's going to be so much worse. You're looking at Graveyard, Golem decks, Ice Bow, Hog Xe, Hog Balloon Xe, no, not Hog Balloon Xe, Balloon Xe. They're all going to be so much worse next season. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about decks yet, but this is probably the biggest nerf that Clash Royale has seen in maybe like a year. I can't remember a bigger nerf that was like this meta defining as a Tornado one, but alright, moving on, we've got the Earthquake up next. I think this is probably the smartest nerf of this patch, and I'll explain why. I think it's the smartest nerf because Earthquake, I mean, at the moment, it's obviously very strong. It's used in a lot of decks, like Hogs, Hog Cycle. It's used in some, like, Royal Giant decks. It's used all over the place, but it's not as meta-defining as you would think, seeing how big of a nerf it is. But I think it makes a lot of sense because with the Tornado nerf, buildings are going to be back and better than ever next season, because obviously Tornado is like one of the best defenses in the game, so a lot of these decks are going to need like a cannon or a Tesla or a Goblin to replace that. So I think the Earthquake nerf is kind of a precautionary nerf, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Alright, so next is, I think one that is kind of being slept on a little bit, is the Royal Delivery buff. Now, it's doing a little bit more damage. It was already okay. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a Royal Hog deck last season that used the Royal Delivery, at least before the Heal Spirit came out. It was like Royal Delivery, Mini P.E.K.K.A, Magic Archer, and the reason why Royal Delivery worked in that meta is because Magic Archer was super solid, and Royal Delivery was a pretty good counter to it. You could play it right at the bridge, and it would pretty much always kill the Magic Archer, no questions asked. So with the Magic Archer buff that we'll be talking about later, and with just the HP or the damage buff that it's getting, I think the Royal Delivery will actually make some waves, and it could be used in some cycle decks as like a solid defensive card that can clutch up in a lot of situations. Alright, next is one that I am very happy about, and I'm sure you guys are as well. It is, of course, the Battle Healer nerf. I think this balance change in particular is kind of like, we want to make you guys happy. You know what? We saw the tweet that got like 3,000 likes that was like a fake balance change, where it's like nerf Mini P.E.K.K.A, nerf Battle Healer, nerf Baby Dragon, and they're pretty much answering all our wishes right now. So, okay, so the Battle Healer, while it's not like broken right now, it's obviously used in E-Golem decks, in some Golem decks, and even in some Graveyard decks. It's not like too strong. It's also used in Bridge Spam, like Ram Red or Bridge Spam, Bandit, Baby Dragon decks. It's not too strong, but I think for some decks it is just completely impossible to deal with, so I'm really happy that they're nerfing the Battle Healer. I just think it's a really annoying card, especially for lower level players. If you don't know how to react to it properly, it'll just like stack up and you're not going to be able to defend. So I'm really glad that they're nerfing it. HP I think is the right way to go, so good on Seth for that one. Next is the Mini P.E.K.K.A nerf. This is another really smart nerf in my opinion. Mini P.E.K.K.A, I was kind of considering how I would nerf it. I would probably have nerfed the first attack, like the time it takes for the Mini P.E.K.K.A to do its first attack, which has been a pretty successful nerf to other cards in the past, but I really like how they went about this. So the reason why the range nerf is very effective is because the Mini P.E.K.K.A will always like chop something once and then the thing will run past it, but it'll kind of be like, wait, I was just shooting you, I'll shoot you one more time. Like for Hog Riders, for example. Hog Rider is super fast card, obviously, right? It just keeps running past things, but that doesn't matter anymore. The Mini P.E.K.K.A will not be able to hit the Hog Rider twice in one go. The Hog Rider will always get a hit on the towers if they play Mini P.E.K.K.A, even if they play in the correct spot. So hooray for Hog Rider, boo for Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's still going to be a very good card, but I think it'll be a little bit more in line with the Goblin Cage and the Lumberjack from now on. So pretty happy with this nerf, honestly. I think it makes a lot of sense. The The next one, I've seen a bit of positive and negative reactions to. It is, of course, the Baby Dragon nerf. Baby Dragon is pretty much a staple of the meta, and it has been for a long time. It's just a super solid card. There's no real other card that does its job this well. It's a tank, first of all. It's an air card, and it's a splash damage troop, so it's good against pretty much everything in the game. It's good against Sparky, it's good against Spam decks, it's good against Graveyard, it's good against Hog Rider, it's good against, like, you name a card, Baby Dragon will always have a use case against it, and it fits in, obviously, Graveyard decks, Lava Hound decks, any deck, pretty much. So I think that it is about time that they nerf the Baby Dragon. It's had its time to shine. It's still obviously going to be a really good card, but toning it down a little bit, I think, will lead to a little bit more of diversity in the meta, which is always nice to see. Next is one that I think a lot of people are a bit skeptical about, me included, is the Magic Archer buff. I think what made the Magic Archer so annoying wasn't its HP or anything like that, but it was obviously its range. Now, without its range, as we saw in this minute, it's pretty damn bad. Like, it just dies. The things, you play Magic Archer on defense, and then the troops will just walk over to it, and before the Magic Archer can have time to kill it, because the troops are that much closer to the Magic Archer, it just dies. And then also there are cases where the Magic Archer, you know, it could have gotten some chip damage on tower, but it won't now, just because of the range stuff. So I think bringing the range back is good, but the HP I don't think was an issue. I don't think anyone had really that much trouble against killing a Magic Archer. Miner will hit it or kill it in 3 hits instead of 4 now, which is great. I don't know why it went 1 and 2 for that, but whatever. Okay. I think that will be an important interaction, but honestly, I think Magic Archer is going to be just as good as it was before, if not better, because of the NATO nerf and all these other nerfs. Royal Delivery will actually be pretty good against it, so we might see Royal Delivery back in the meta because of that, but honestly, I'm a little worried about this one, and I think they might have kind of gone about it the wrong way. Personally, I would have made it so the first Magic Archer hit took a lot longer, then after that it went boom, boom, boom. So it will like line up the first shot, and then after that it would just fire at things. That way it can give your opponent a little bit more time to react, so you won't lose the game to, let's say, a Magic Archer at the bridge or something like that, where you just don't have time to react to it. Okay, next are the buildings. I think we can kind of clump these all into one. Goblin Hut getting a nerf, thank goodness. Super happy about that. I want to see some other buildings in the game, and I just want to not play against spam decks the whole game. I think you guys can kind of understand my feelings on this. Just Goblin Hut Royale, Barb Hut Royale. Barb Hut obviously not as big of a problem as Goblin Hut was this meta, but still a super solid card, and also, like, I don't think it's a very fun card. It's just a 7 elixir thing that you just place down. You can kind of do it willy-nilly, and most of the time, your opponent's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with it. And you're not like, wow, oh my god, did you see that Barb Hut placement? That was insane. It's just like, no, you just place it down and just defends everything. So, very happy to see a Barb Hut and Goblin Hut nerf. The Furnace nerf is very strange. I think it makes sense because of the mid to lower tier players. Like, it's a pretty hard card to deal with if you don't know, like, poison placements or something like that. But honestly, I didn't think it was that much of an issue to get a 16% HP nerf. I just don't think, like, I mean, I'm thinking of decks this meta that use Furnace. There was the RG deck, like the RG Lightning Lumberjack Baby Dragon deck. That deck is getting hit hard, by the way. Okay, Baby Dragon nerf, Furnace nerf. But that deck was good 6 months ago. It hasn't been seen since, other than One Trick Sword just stuck in the past. And like, oh, this is my favorite deck. I want to keep using this for no reason. So, that one, I mean, I guess if it is really that big of an issue in the lower arenas, then it makes sense to nerf it. But I don't really understand it. It just seems like you're overreacting because of the mid-tier players who can put in poison in the deck. And the last one, I think it makes sense. It is the Goblin Cage. They're buffing it so it's a little bit more in line with Mini Peck and Lumberjack. It has gotten no usage other than from Pompeo, who runs his Bumpe deck, of course, with the balloon deck with the Goblin Cage. But outside of that one player with that one deck, there's no Goblin Cage in the meta. Maybe Hane uses it a little bit, actually, because he used, like, Goblins, Giant Skeleton, like, bait decks, so it kind of fits in those decks a little bit, but I'm happy to see it come back in the meta. I don't think it's going to be too strong, but I think it'll be okay. Alright, now that we've talked about all the card nerfs specifically, we should obviously get into the decks. This is where I think things get a little bit more interesting. The deck that I think is going to suffer the most from this is, as you guys can probably guess, Graveyard. Because Graveyard uses a lot of Tornado, and it uses a lot of Baby Dragon, And because of the buff to the Royal Delivery, you know, the buff to, what am I trying to think? Alright, whatever. Because of the buff to Royal Delivery, that will also make Graveyard a little bit harder to break through, and without the Baby Dragon, Graveyard really doesn't succumb to much. I think it will still be good, particularly the version with Musketeer, Bomb Tower, Baby Dragon, Poison, Barb Barrel, Skeletons, Graveyard, Poison. Yeah, that's the deck. I think that deck will still be solid, and it will still be used a lot, but other than that one deck, I don't see much use for Graveyard in the meta. And honestly, I'm kind of happy about that. I feel like it's been a lot of Graveyard throughout this whole, you know, 3, 4, 5 month stretch of 2020. So I'll be happy to see it go. You know, I'm not the biggest Graveyard player myself, so not too bent out of shape after that nerf. But okay, what other decks will be benefited from? Obviously, 2.9 is going to be buffed because of the Earthquake nerf, but I think Ice Bow is going to be nerfed severely. Also, if anybody knows, I just got this new Elgato. It's a 920, no, not a 922, that's my webcam. It is the HD60 Plus. And as you guys can hear, the audio distorts a good bit. I've tried to fix this. I spent like an hour and a half earlier trying to fix the audio. The webcam and the footage looks great, but I don't know what to fix for the audio. I don't know why it's doing that, but alright, back to the cards. Expo 2.9 will be getting a huge buff indirectly because of the Earthquake nerf, and I think the Hut nerf as well. And 3.5 Ice Bow is going to be nerfed severely because that deck pretty much relies solely on just being able to defend effortlessly with like Ice was NATO and then Rocket Cycling. So kind of happy about these. We'll be seeing how strong Expo is in the next meta. I don't think it's going to be too good because of the other decks that will be coming back in the meta, in my opinion, but let's just jump into those for now. So the deck that I think will be benefited the most from that isn't really being used at all this meta are giant beatdown decks and decks like it. Because this might be a little hard to explain, but the Mini P.E.K.K.A nerf, the Hut nerf, all these cards kind of destroy Giant. The Baby Dragon and the Healer nerf, they also destroy Giant very well. Same with the NATO. NATO destroys Giant decks. And Royal Giant decks, but that's another deck entirely. I think the Giant Cannon Cart Heal Spirit Miner, whatever, Fireball Musketeer deck will be super strong next meta because of the increase in 2.9, because of the lack of buildings. It's just going to be really solid, I think, and it'll have a lot of use cases. So that's the deck that I'm most excited for, but other than that, obviously Hog's going to make a bit of a comeback. I think Balloon's going to be really strong because of the NATO nerf, and other than that, I don't really know. I think that is kind of what the meta is going to wrap up to. I don't think the decks that we have right now are going to go anywhere. Like Royal Hogs, I think will still be good. I think these Mega Knight decks will still be pretty good. I think the Lava Hound will still be pretty strong. I think Graveyard will be okay, but it's just going to be a bit of a change in support cards. So yeah, I think that'll do it for today's video. Someone in the comments down below may be able to help me with the Elgato. Tried all over the place to try and fix it, but hasn't really been working out. Oh, it seems like we're losing this game, huh? It's kind of a tough one to end on, isn't it? Alright, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your comments are or what your thoughts are on the balance changes coming on Tuesday. I'll see you guys with another video in 2 days, and yeah, peace.